Well, hello there and good day. Thank you for joining me. I am Frost PDP, and today we're talking about Brigandine Grand Edition. Although this applies to any edition, we're using the Grand Edition Cross mod right now. It applies to almost any strategy RPG or tactical RPG. If you want to think back to something like battles in Master of Orion 2, which is a great game, and I haven't played that in a really long time, and I might have to do that soon. Or anything really. The action economy and opportunities. What does that mean? Well, first, let me give you my definition of an action economy. It's the idea that the number of actions you have to make, in a row specifically, but in general, is substantially tied to your odds of success with regards to winning a battle. I.e., the more moves I can make in a row, the better. So right now, we've got Patternus here. He's level 26. Brigandine operates in turn order based on level numbers, so level 30 being the highest you can get. Ties are a random number generator decided, so it's chance. It's like flipping a coin or a three-sided die or whatever. So Patternus is level 26, and we would go through and just check out what our enemies are, what our allies are, and we end up with these numbers here. And I highlighted on the left-hand side whether they are in Leonia, which is this lovely blue color here, which is who we are, we're the player, or if they're Scalia, which is boo, they're the yellow color numbers, right? With each number 1, 2, 3 being a squad number, not necessarily corresponding to which order they'll go in. For example, he gave Camden 2, even though he goes after Adelici at 14. So, important things to note, just as we're going along and developing what we're thinking of, because we're thinking, hey, Patternus, he can do stuff, right? He can move, he can cast spells, sometimes he can even cast spells that might persist until they become useful, like Halo, or Hallow, or however you say that. The next attack that a unit that is hallowed makes automatically hits, even if it's got a low chance to hit, and also it gives you better experience gain. Well, that's useful in a lot of ways. Also, Fury just stays on you until you use it, so if I had those spells, I could use them now while I prepare to defend if I don't choose to move. Although it's worth noting, these things cost a resource, which is MP. Whereas other characters might have abilities that don't necessarily require MP, or might be units that don't do anything. Again, this is not necessarily existent in every edition of Brigandine. This is exclusive to the cross mod, but Giants have Fury. Fury persists until it's used. If I use Fury to make this unit's attack stronger, as long as I don't have a reason to move this guy, I'm losing absolutely nothing except MP that would be just invested in Fury anyway. That's the only MP the guy can use. So there are certain situations where it benefits you to just use a turn freely. Most of all being that Patternus actually comes after, if you think about it, Charlene and Philo. Because if I write the answers to this little question of what's the turn order this way, well, now all of a sudden it becomes clear. If I can get Philo to go first and Charlene to go second, I can have Patternus go third, and I can make all of my units act in a turn. Then I just have to measure what my best opportunities are. And it's time we talk about that. Opportunities refers to any possible decisions you may make, up to and including choosing to rest units for a turn, relocate them, or any other action you have the opportunity to take. I have the opportunity to set up an area of breath attacks. So right now, because my enemy is distant, I have the opportunity to set up fortifications, right? These guys are all the way out here. This giant, he's pretty slow. These guys, they have mandrakes. They're pretty slow. It's going to take the enemy at least 2 turns to reach me. I really have time to set up just tremendous fortifications of some sort with overlapping fields of fire, using the dragon breath, and all of these good things. And don't get me wrong, that's an awesome strategy. But because the enemy is attacking me with 1 army over here and 2 over here, as the enemies want to do, thanks to the AI not really understanding how lanes work in this game, unfortunately, on the grand scale of things. I can take this army of 3, this whole squad of 3 armies, move them down here and engage his 1 army. So I have the opportunity to defend, and to defend very well. Or I have the opportunity to execute a defeat in detail. Now, granted, Drist is an enemy ruler. Don't forget that. So his stats are insane. He's really hard to hit with melee attacks or ranged attacks. So we'd have to depend on Holy Griffins and magic to really take him down. But he's defeatable. And if we can defeat him before the enemy gets here, well, that's an opportunity to take the ruler of the country out. And in this game, that forces defeat. So I have to add up my action economy. Add all these things together and say, well, I have 7 units in this squad, 7 units in this squad, and 6 in this squad. That adds up 7, 14, 20 actions. And if I can bring 20 actions to bear against his 7 over here, well, now you're talking about really why a defeat in detail is a really strongly advised strategy in this situation. Alternatively, the enemy could hug the mountains, really hug the mountains and set up a defense here. Or they can hug the mountains and wheel all the way around and set up using the mandrakes in the woods to stall. Well, that would be another strategy they can embrace. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video because it sort of popped into my head. Let me know what you think, if these sort of things are helpful, if you enjoy it, if you learned anything. If you disagree with any of my assessment, if you can use it in better language than I can, please leave a comment. Otherwise, hit the like, share, subscribe, friend, follow buttons, whatever platform you use. The support you offer is deeply appreciated. And as always on this channel, La Paz.